Traders everywhere were hoping Trump would drop a Bitcoin bombshell at the UN, but got coal over kale instead. Do you think Bitcoin even needs political endorsements anymore, or does this just prove the market's desperate for narrative fuel right now? What do you think?
I don't think Bitcoin needs political endorsements, but I think the market is psychological and sort of reacts to these things. And maybe it was reacting to sort of the Trump hinting at an ongoing, prolonged war here between Ukraine and Russia. He was calling Russia a paper tiger, saying their economy is faltering. And there's probably some truth to that. 3 years of ongoing war and, inflation has been kind of steadfast in the Russian economy as well. And so I'm still trying to read the tea leaves here is, does Ukraine have any chance of regaining ground back? I mean, I don't want this war to go on, but I'm trying to understand what's actually happening on the ground. And but I do think that it seems that these parties want war. Maybe Bitcoin didn't jump or trade higher because they were hoping for peace, or they being traders,
right?
And more clarity and more sort of economic growth through peace. So I'm not. That's kind of my takeaway. And it's in this article I'm reading here on Al Jazeera. Last week, Estonia said 3 Russian fighter jets violated its airspace not long after 20 Russian drones entered Poland's airspace, raising fears among Europe's NATO countries of a spillover from the Ukraine war. So NATO's mentioning Article 5, and I think Ukraine has been attacking Gazprom's assets in Russia, its oil production capabilities. So this seems to be ongoing. I'm curious to see what Zelensky says. Actually, you guys have brought me back into this story, so.
Yeah. Big picture, do you think traders should even be hanging on Trump's every speech anyway? It seems like no matter what he says, it is fodder for something. So are we maybe giving him a little too much credit at this point for his ability to move Bitcoin's needle?
I mean, I think still these, traders are still going to react to market-driven events. I do think Trump still has the ability to move the needle from time to time. I don't know if he's always trying to move the needle every time. Yeah, we don't know if he was always trying to move the needle and when he's trying to move the needle. But I definitely think he likes to see the markets react to his words. And I think, sort of traders are kept hostage to that, that paradigm.
Yeah, he's truly the most, he's the biggest political wild card, or maybe just wild card I've ever seen ever. So you never know what he's going to do or what he's going to say or what his intentions are. And maybe that's the way he intends it. I don't know. But
I think his role is chaos.
So.
I think his role is chaos agent. And I think as, fiat debases and deteriorates in value, I think politics has to get crazier and crazier. So I think Trump is sort of the beginning of the social media candidates. I mean, we see Milei in Argentina, who is very, with the chainsaws. And so I do think, and if you look at the next generation, whether it's, and I'm not endorsing these people, but just who's on the scene, Candace Owens, Kanye. I mean, these are kind of people who are probably going to take politics in an even more crazier way or maniacal way. So, and it seems to bring out the worst in people, politics, sociopaths. So, yeah. So I think it's going to get crazier and crazier. I think he's sort of, maybe he broke the mold, but I think that's the mold now.
Morgan Stanley is teaming up with Zero Hash to let E-Trade users trade Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. Is this real adoption or just Wall Street finally catching up to what Coinbase kids were doing since 2017?
I think it's both. I think it is real adoption. I mean, people are demanding these products and these financial giants are going to have to roll them out. So I think that does signal real adoption, not maybe sort of the ethos of Bitcoin. It's not the adoption around, Bitcoin qualities. It's real adoption of Bitcoin price exposure. It remains to be seen. I mean, Morgan Stanley wants to roll out a wallet. I assume that would be a custodial wallet. But maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe it'll be a self-custody wallet. But I really think this is about the adoption of Bitcoin as an asset class, as price exposure, as getting alpha in the market, exposure to Bitcoin's volatility, not necessarily sort of the adoption of the ethos of Bitcoin in terms of self-custody or circular economy or privacy or censorship-resistant money or anything like that. But I do think that this will also feed directly into the repeal of SAB 121 and then SAB 122, which is allowing people to use their Bitcoin as collateral when taking out loans. So I think that will primarily, I'm excited about seeing how that affects mortgages in the mortgage market, but that will also, affect how much of their Morgan Stanley's clients can take out in like even margin or loans to trade. So it's in their interest for not their clients just to even buy. That's why they probably want to roll out the wallet. It's not just to for their clients to buy these assets from them, but to house their assets there and be the custodian of these assets, so they can be either traded against or loaned against as well. So they can have all these assets under management.
And Morgan Stanley, it was interesting, is they're framing this as bringing digital assets into the same ecosystem that clients are used to. So do you think Bitcoin gets stronger when it's wrapped in this kind of Wall Street packaging, or weaker because it kind of loses its edge, or it kind of goes against the
Bitcoin's
ethos?
Anti-fragile, but I think that this, something that goes against the ethos could have a positive or negative effect. So it could lead to less people self-custodying, but then some of those people who don't self-custody are going to learn the hard way, and some of those people are going to then become advocates of self-custody. So it's hard to really judge the second and third order effects, but I think that I think that it doesn't make it stronger or weaker. What do you think?